Okay, guys. Sorry. Welcome back to part 2 of why I left the ICOC. Um, the first one obviously was just a big intro to these next videos. I had said that I don't know, I don't think it was in the other video that I said I was like, maybe I'll do a series. This is not a series. I went back and looked at the videos. None of them were like 10 minutes long. They're like 5-6 minutes. So I just put all of the videos into one big conglomerate of video. And yeah, so enjoy. Okay. So that's pretty much how I feel about this. After my mom died, I felt like I was slowly getting the wool pulled off of my eyes on the basis of church. Not that I shouldn't be going to church, but that I should be going to a church that preaches accepting all people and loving all people. Because that's what my mom did. My mom raised me to love everyone and to accept everyone for who they are. Including people in the LGBT community, gay, straight, lesbian, transgender, questioning, queer, whatever. My mom raised me to accept all of them and to not change them because that is how God made them. No one chooses to be gay. No one chooses to be transgender. No one chooses... No, Rosa, no. When people feel certain ways, like someone growing up and realizing that they like men and they're a boy or a girl and realizing they like other women, they don't choose that. Because if you look at society and how people have been treating people in the LGBT community, no one wants to be hated. No one wants to be told they're going to hell. So when I'm going to a church that preaches, that originally is like, oh yeah, everyone's welcome, but then when you go through the Bible study, they're like, yeah, you have to, confess all of your deepest sins, your deepest secrets, and you have to renounce, if you are gay and you are studying, you have to renounce who you are, pretty much. And I can't imagine, I have friends in the LGBT community, and I can't imagine, now that I'm really seeing everything, I'm like, I was going to a church that would probably pretty much tell them, you can't be who you are. And what really breaks my heart, finding out that I have a family member who I didn't know was gay, but she is, but they are. Sorry, didn't really want to reveal too much. And to think the fact that, my church friends would say they'd, welcome her with open arms, but then, they wouldn't have welcoming thoughts. And that breaks my heart because she's my family. And what's also hard is that this church pretty much puts God and church together. So pretty much you can't have a relationship with God without being in the church. I think that's total BS. I feel like my relationship with God, sorry, I thought I saw a bug, but it's ice melting. I believe that you can have a relationship with God without being in a certain church setting. And it's really hard because I've had this realization because my mom she loved God. Every Sunday when she was able to, she was at church. She was always teaching a lesson. She was always speaking. She was always donating. She was always helping. And to think that I am dishonoring her memory by being in a church that does not preach acceptance, that does not show this, it breaks my heart. I feel like I'm living two separate lives. I'm living Church Rosa, who goes to church and reads her Bible, which I do anyway, and agrees with some of these hateful comments. Well, I don't agree. I literally just sit there and I'm just like I don't say anything because everyone is like, preach. And I'm like, no. In my head, I want to get up and walk away. And I almost do a lot of the time. One time, one of the preachers brought up the Me Too movement and he didn't understand it, why people dress a certain way. And I'm like, I almost stood up and left. Because I'm like, no. Don't preach on something you know nothing about. You don't understand the Me Too movement. If you have not gone through something like that, you do not have a right to preach about it. Sorry, not sorry. But anyways, I'm just like struggling. Sorry, this is like shaking. I'm trying not to make it shake. It's just been, since my mom died, I've been slowly having the wool pulled back off of my eyes. And I was really like worried because I'm like, I realize it's so crazy. Most of my friends here in Missoula are in the church. I don't really have many friends outside of the church. One, because I don't really go out, so I don't have time to make more friends, because I'm busy. But two, because a lot of the church preaches, don't yoke yourself together. I think it's 2 Corinthians something. It's in 2 Corinthians. It's like, don't yoke yourself together with non-believers. So pretty much saying like, don't enter in a business transaction, don't date someone else, like, that's not Christian or in the church. And it's so hard for me because it's like, listen, if they consider non-believers people not in the church, I think that is so stupid. Because then my parents would be considered non-believers. My dad believes in God, but he doesn't believe that he believes God is love, just like my mom does. And my best friend, one of my best friends, two of my best friends, I don't want to mention them by name. Well, actually, no, I will, because I've mentioned them before. My best friend Maggie grew up in the Catholic Church, and she loves God, but there are, we all have found our own things with, how we feel and what we've been taught, and as we've gotten older and have more experiences in our life, we've learned what we should be believing. So I've talked with her because I was like, Maggie, I feel like, I don't know if it's a crisis of faith or what. And she's like, no, Rosa, you're not. You love God, but you're just like, you're realizing that you're at your church is not someplace you want to be because it's not a healthy message. And I'm like, you're right. And I've talked with, and then my good friend Ashley, she's not really religious at all, but she's very spiritual. And to think that people don't want me to take her advice, I can't imagine. She is someone that I go to for things because, like, she has a lot of life experience. And she has 3 kids. So if I ever have kids, I know who I'm going to turn to. And she has been my friend for so long. And, it's so hard to be like, and no, I'm not being corrupted. I'm making this choice for me. This is going to be a long video because it's only March 30th right now. And I'm giving myself some time to work through things, but it's March 30th, and so we'll see how things progress. I still have some commitments in the church that I'm dedicated to. I feel like with my whole heart that I want to finish out these things. Like I help with Kingdom Kids, and I really want to keep teaching it because I can tell in my heart that I want to keep helping them. And like, I want young people to love God, but what's really hard is thinking that these young kids that are going to this Sunday school type thing are like pretty much going to grow up in a church where you don't like people that are different from you. Like, you don't accept gay people. You try to change them, or you try to change people who like are Catholic and you want them to be, and it's like, I can't like keep preaching that because I started thinking about it too. I was like, what if I end up getting married in this church and I have a child and that child is gay and they tell me something's wrong with your kid, something's wrong with your kid? I'd be like, no, nothing is wrong with my child. They're exactly who God made them to be. Don't try to do anything. And I can't imagine being with someone who would support saying he or she needs to change who they are. No, that's not okay. Okay, I'm getting way too heated with all this. I gotta go. But yeah, it's only March 30th and I have so many thoughts. This is going to be a really long video. I'm really sorry. Okay. It is April 1st. Obviously, I have been dealing with this thought of leaving the church for a while. Well, not a while. Like, I've been struggling with it for like, yeah, for like for a month, a good month or so. And it's so tough because every single person that has left the church previously, everyone is like, they're leaving God. They don't love God anymore. They don't care about their relationship with God. I call BS on that. Because a couple of the people that I've talked to that have left, who I actually recently apologized for, because I remember saying to them, I'm so sad you left God. Like, I apologize to them because I now realize they didn't leave God. They never walked away from God. They walked away from this church. They walked away from the teachings that are in this church because, I'm sorry, but there is thinly veiled hate being taught at this church. Like, not to drag a church. It's just, it's so hard because I've been told, like, well, gay people are welcome as long as they, they confess their sins and rebuke that life, or whatever that word is, like, get rid of, forget their past life. Hi, Hershey. And it's just so hard. It's so hard for me because I've been like the black sheep in this church, because for me, I believe that it's okay if they're gay. I believe that, you know what? If someone's gay, how is it our thing to judge? Where is our position to judge their life and their decision? Not even their decision. No one will choose to be gay. No one chooses to have people constantly saying, you're going to go to hell, or you're not loved by God. That is total BS. They are still a child of God. God made them for who they are. Why are you trying to change someone that God made in a special way? They're special people. Everyone is a special person. They are like, you are telling these people who need God most, who need to know that God loves them most, that they're going to go to hell because of their life. They are probably struggling with how they've been feeling their whole life. And they've probably heard countless family members tell them, you're going to hell, you're doing that. It's like, that's not fair to them. It's so hard when I see someone in the church I will just say, someone in my church has a gay child, and that child, I never see that person at church, because they feel, and I don't blame them, uncomfortable being at a church that preaches hate against the LGBT community. Like, hi, I'm trying to have a convo. And it's just so hard. And like, the people that have told me that I need to censor what I say because it doesn't reflect well on the church. Well, I'm posting my opinions. Like, if someone who is interested in coming to the church sees my opinion, first off, how do they even know my Instagram? I don't always like announce like, oh yeah, this is my Instagram handle. This is this. Check out my YouTube. No, I never do that. So why would that person be offended? Or why would that person be upset? That's stupid. That conclusion is stupid, because that person isn't, they're just like, that person isn't gonna choose to not go to this church because of what I say. They'll probably choose because they realize what you're trying to teach. And a lot of the time, some of the teachings, I'm not going to say that they're all bad. Some of them are really good, but a lot of the time, some of them are pretty good. But a lot of the time, not a lot, sometimes I've noticed they'll bring in like talking about sin, and then they bring up the LGBT community, or, some other things like I don't even remember, but like, it's like thinly veiled hate in a teaching, and it's just like, no, that's not okay. It's just, it's so hard for me to understand why they don't see an issue with this, why the other parishioners don't see an issue with this. Like, I also know of someone who is leaving the church because they also feel like the beliefs and morals that their parents set for them and instilled in them is also being wavered, and that they don't feel connected. They feel like they're losing their connection to God because of how the church is going. And for me, it's like we've already had. I remember when I first came to the church in 2017. 3 people left, and then last November, 2 people left, and then another person left a few months ago. Like I think in January or February, another person left. It had to be January. And then another person left, and now another person is planning on leaving, and then me. So how is it that they don't see that it's an internal problem, that it's something going on with their teachings that make people want to leave? Like the fact that they say like, oh, you can't have a relationship with God outside this church. It's like, no, we can. Like I plan on having to keep my relationship going with God as much as I can. Sorry, my dog's been acting kind of sick, but like she seems fine. I think she puked today. It's either her or the cat. But anyway, it has been such an emotional roller coaster. I've just been so like so many emotions and thoughts going through my head. Like I know there are some people that I have written letters to, three ladies who I feel very close to, who I felt like I've gotten close to very quickly. And I wrote them letters explaining to them this, even though I plan on having a conversation hopefully with them at some point. But it's just like, for me, I wanted to write a letter because, I mean, who knows? I want them to stay friends with me. I would love to stay friends with them, but if they feel uncomfortable, I'm not going to force it. Because it's like, I'm not going to let someone feel uncomfortable being friends with me. But at the same time, I had someone say, well, if they're true friends, they will still remain friends with you, even though you're not going to the same church. And I mean, even my letters, I wrote in each one, because it's true. I wrote like, this decision is really hard for me. Please don't look at it as I'm leaving God. I'm just stepping away from the church and seeking a relationship with God elsewhere. And I feel like that should be fine. And it's weird because when you're baptized in the church, you're given disciple buddies and all of that. And then also the 3 amazing women that baptized me, they're really nice women. They are. But I haven't felt connected with them. Maybe since the beginning of maybe December. I don't feel like I've been connected to them as much. And maybe it's me, maybe I've just been not really wanting to hang out, but at the same time I've just had this gut feeling that I shouldn't be connected with them. Something was telling my heart, and they will say it was Satan, but it wasn't Satan. By the way, it's God. God is telling me that I need to listen to my heart and I need to listen to my soul, and he is speaking to my heart, telling me if I feel uncomfortable in a church situation, I should get out and find something better and find something where I feel a connection with God and feel more connected to him and don't feel like I'm constantly in this telenovela with these girls who make things so dramatic, and it's just so crazy because it's just we're in our 20s. We don't need to be dramatic anymore. Calm yourself. Anyways, yeah, that's my little tidbit for right now. There's just so many things. Like I said before, in my other one, I don't know if I'm gonna post this. I mean, I might end up just posting this so people can see my thoughts, but yeah. I'm like trying to figure out an exit, honestly, like an honest exit plan. Like, when will I leave? How will I leave? Will I just fade out when I go back to Idaho in June and just end up not just coming back and telling people I'm back in church and then just taking myself off of things? Or will I actually that's my plan, is to, when I leave for Idaho, I'm out. Like, my plan is to hopefully have talked to the people that I really want to talk to, the ones I have letters for, and be like, this is what's on my heart. This is what I'm going through. I love you. I love God. I need to step away from this church. Like, after I have those conversations, I hope I can just step back. And yeah, but and that's going to be interesting too. To whoever's watching this, if you ever end up watching this, you will probably find out who got the letters and who didn't. And I can tell you right now, that the people that baptized me did not get a letter. Not because I don't like them or because I don't love them. It's just I don't feel like I'm connected to them as much as I am to the three women that I wrote letters to. And those three ladies that I wrote letters to, I've disclosed a lot to, and they are people who I view as closer sisters than I do a lot of other people. Well, in the church, other than my best friend Maggie, Maggie, girl, you're number one. Well, my dad and then you, sorry, obviously dad goes first. But no, so this is so many things, and it's just so many. So yeah, we'll see if this actually gets posted. I don't know. Well, if it does, then bring on the drama, I guess, right? All right, so it is April 4th, and I've so far talked to 3 people about my choice to leave the church. I did talk with the girl who actually brought me into the church today. She called me, and I was like, oh, I don't want to talk to her. Not because it's because for me, I was like, I know it's going to be about something, and it's like she knew, God was trying to tell her hey, something's up. But no, and it was fine, and we talked, and I let her know about my feelings, and yeah, she did bring up some good points. Maybe it's because I'm grieving and to not make any big life decisions, and I respect her opinion, but I also respectfully disagree. I had been having questions about this, honestly, since I got baptized. But I was I think I was just so happy that I had found God, and that, and I know my mom was happy that I rediscovered my love for God, and so was my dad, and I think it's just I know that no matter how much scripture I read and, stuff I look up in the Bible or people I talk to trying to be hey, maybe this isn't choice, I know that I'm going to leave. I told her, I was yeah, I'm going to give myself a couple months. And honestly, yeah, I kind of am to, honestly, the only reason I'm taking a couple months is so I can talk to everybody that I want to talk to. I'm not talking to every single person in the church because I don't feel like I have to. I don't need to. It's not everyone else's business. It's my choice to do what I want to do. And honestly, this is me having grace, is kind of just saying my piece and letting people know where I'm at, and I will take their thoughts into consideration, but I'm still going to do what I know is in my heart, and that I know that what God put in my heart. And so I am really it's hard because part of me really does want to like continue to have a relationship with them. And I know that like she's like, we'll always be loved, and I was like, thank you. And that's what really matters, is that like everyone, that I'll still have some friendships in the church, even though I'm not going to be in the church. But it's definitely hard to, like, it was good to tell her. I'm meeting up with another friend on Monday, and then slowly meeting up with more people to let them know everything. My plan was to meet up with a lot of my, like, a couple of the people, the older marrieds. Well, I call them the seasoned marrieds because I feel like they're not like old or old at all, but they're not the young marrieds, like the young professionals. But anyway, um my plan is to talk to a couple of the families that I really, well, not the families, but a couple of the older women that I really kind of connected with, and talk to them. And then I was going to talk to more young people from the Yo Pros, as time goes on. Probably right before I leave, because I think I had mentioned in a previous video, there is a wedding coming up, and I don't want it to cause any drama or there to be any awkwardness. And for a long time, I talked with a friend about this last night, that for a long time, like, when people leave the church, they're told to, like, not really have contact with, other people in the church are told to not have contact with people that have left. And it seems like that's changing, and that's awesome. Their viewpoint on the LGBT community sounds like it's changing. But honestly, and to be 100% transparent, like I try to be with everyone here, all of my subscribers, all 17, 18 of you, thank you, I see you watching. But no, like, I honestly believe that they're just trying, because they're realizing people are leaving for a reason. And so they're trying to be like, oh, but we're accepting. Oh, but we will welcome you back. We want to talk to you. I think they're just honestly they're trying to showboat, because they don't want people to leave. And that's a good point. And that's the thing, is like, but I still feel like they need to realize, like, I will probably be told this. They're like, we know, we love you. You're going to be searching for your relationship with God. And I was like, I have a relationship with God, and I'm going to be keeping that relationship with God just outside of this church. I already plan on going with a good friend to her church this coming Sunday morning. I'm excited. And then going to I'm still going to be going to my current church, because I still have some teaching obligations. But the last day of my teaching obligation is luckily Easter. And I find that ironic because it's like the last day that I'm teaching is the day of the day of a rebirth, pretty much. And I'm realizing, like, this is my rebirth into discovering who God wanted me to be. And once I'm done teaching on the 21st, I'll still go to church sporadically. I will just, like, now I'm kind of like, I won't feel as guilty not going to church on the Sundays that I have a big run. And I honestly am going to say here, and because this is not going to be posted until later, that I will officially make my exit sometime after May 18th. As that's the wedding, so I don't want to cause any drama. But I will plan on leaving by May 18th, or after May 18th. I still have a lot more people to talk to, and it's going to be it's an emotional roller coaster, and I did not expect this to be easy. I was going to just write letters. I think I had mentioned that I'd write letters and just give them to people and then leave, and that's not, I was shown by one of the first person that I talked to about my decision. She had talked to me, and she's like, I don't think that she's like, good confrontation is needed, especially in this kind of situation, because everyone's going to have feelings, and letters will probably leave them, like, confused and hurt more than you would think. So I'm going to talk more with people in the weeks in months to come, and month to come, because it's yeah, and it's going to be really interesting. I feel like a couple people probably already know where my heart is, because I am pretty transparent on Instagram, and I'm becoming way more transparent on Facebook, because there are certain things that I do agree with the church. Actually, no, I agree that it's good to have a relationship with God. I do, however, disagree with a lot of other things, like I wholeheartedly support LGBTQ, the whole LGBTQ community. I support their choices on who they choose to marry, and I do call it a marriage and not just a union. I call it a marriage, because if they are legally able to get married, and that's a legal document, they are legally married. And to the people who think that that's an insult to the institution of marriage, so is divorce. And look how many people have gotten divorced recently. And I'm not saying divorce is bad. I mean, my parents were divorced since I was were divorced like when I was 5 years old, but they were best friends. So I have no issue with divorce, but I hate when people use that and say that gay marriage is against, goes against the true meaning of marriage. It's like, no, it just means two people who love each other choose to spend the rest of their lives together. That's what it means to me. And it doesn't matter if it's a man and a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. Sorry. And if you disagree with that, that's fine. But don't shove your beliefs down my throat. I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not shoving my opinion down your throat and then trying to quote scriptures to you. So, anyways, that's kind of my update. It's definitely a lot of emotions. I have no issues talking with people about this. And I would love to hear their point of view, but honestly, it's not like it goes in one ear and out the other, but I will take it into consideration, or I will respectfully listen to their thoughts, but I will also respectfully do what is right for me and is also in line with the path that God has for me. And honestly, from what I'm seeing and feeling, this path does not include this church. And it breaks my heart, but at the same time, I know that it's for the best. I felt guilty for a while, but honestly, after talking with a lot of people through this, not in my church, but very supportive friends that I have and I love and I've had for years, or just new friends I've gotten to know, I appreciate them wholeheartedly for standing by me and listening to my constant words and speaking about this, and they're there for me, and it's great. And I don't feel uncomfortable sharing my opinions with them, and I don't feel uncomfortable sharing my life with them, and they take me as I am wholeheartedly and uncensored, and I don't feel like I get this at this church. So that's my tidbit. That I say tidbit, but it's looking at it, it's 11 minutes long. That's currently how I'm feeling. I can't wait to actually have to look at all this footage and try to update it and figure out what I'm going to put in. Oh my gosh. So much to do. It's crazy. All right. Have a good night. I'm currently watching Stranger Things, which I love. I'm rewatching, I should say, starting from season 1. And yeah, but I'm going to peace out and start getting ready to have a lot of really tough conversations. So, bye. I love you all. Oh no. Y'all. Things are insane. Okay. So I've actually talked to 4 people now. Yeah, 4 people. And it was really good conversations that I've had. And I actually, last night I talked with, and it is April 6th. Sorry. So last night I talked to one of the season, well, she was in the marrieds ministry, but she's not married. And she and I actually talked. And like, we had a really good conversation. Honestly, I feel like I had a better conversation with her than when I did with the person that originally brought me into the church. And it was a really good conversation, and she had some really good points. And just, she really did just express, she's like, God wants you to be somewhere where you want to go. And it's true. And I really wholeheartedly, and she's like, just please don't cut off contact. And I was like, of course, like that's why I'm trying to talk to people, is because I don't want to cut off complete contact. And I know some will. Hopefully they don't, but some will, and it happens. And it breaks my heart. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to feel guilty about my decision because I'm still searching for God. I'm not leaving God. Satan's not leading me down this path. God is leading me down this path. And I know that wholeheartedly. I know that it's God. And for people out there who are thinking, no, it's Satan, I was like, you're wrong. You don't know me as well as God knows me. So you better shut your dang mouth. Sorry if that's harsh, but shut your dang mouth. Anyways, I'm not even kidding you guys. I was looking up just to, I was just Googling ICOC, the International Church of Christ. That's where I belong to. But I'm at one here in Montana. And so I looked up International Church of Christ. I typed in ICOC on my phone. And the second thing that popped up, other than beliefs, was cults. It said ICOC cults. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? And y'all, I went down the rabbit hole. I watched videos. I've read articles. It's insane. And like, there were moments where I realized, like, look, the church I went to wasn't completely like that a lot of the places, but there were a lot of similarities. And it could have been like the church like years and years ago, because like what I'm seeing now, it's not as bad. But like they always talk about like how you have a disciple buddy or a discipler. And I do have one. I just say maybe did have one. Yeah, I did have one because this will be coming out after I leave. And yeah, like you go to that person for advice, and sometimes, sorry, my hand's cramping, and sometimes, I didn't always follow her advice. Mainly because I know what's right for me. I know what God wants me to do. Like, oh, hi, Hershey. Like, your opinion on my life, like, I'll take it into consideration, but I'm not gonna, like, you're not gonna control my life. And like they had so many stances on dating, which is fine. Like that does like I said, I'm not leaving to date someone outside of the church. That is not why I'm leaving. That is the last thing on my mind right now. And it's just like there are so many things that I'm seeing that I like read about, or I'm actually currently watching. I've been watching this one woman. I'll link her video below, which was the first video I watched. Her name is Tina. I don't know her whole handle. Let me look. Tina Marie J, I think, I'm just gonna say Tina Marie. I'll link it below, and she has just been like she was in the ICOC, and it's just so interesting to just watch her experience and being like, yeah, there are some moments I relate to that, like, or there's articles I read about people who have left, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't. This is the church I'm in. Like, granted, some are maybe a little bit more strict. I don't know. Mine is pretty like, well, it's still strict, but no, like it's really interesting because like I was like, because when you go through things like when you study, you have to write out a sin list. So you write out all of your biggest sins, and it's so crazy when people will like take notes on your sins, because it's like, these are my sins. Like my sin study, like that piece of paper, I still have it, but like that's probably gonna go in the, like I'm probably gonna burn that. Like because it's like, it's no one's business. Like, I mean, I know that I can confess him to God, but why do I need to confess him to you? Like, and then, like, counting the cost was our last one before I got baptized. And they were like, what's, like, your biggest thing? What's your biggest sin that you need to work on? And I honestly just said pride, because it's true. I'm very prideful. And I honestly, like, because I like to always think I'm right, which I know I'm not. And there are moments in that where I'm like, I'm going to go to God for this. And I have, and he has helped me, and it's really helped. But that doesn't mean I always have to talk to my disciple buddy. I don't always have to, like, go to someone in the church for advice. Sorry, like, my hand's cramping. I don't always have to go to someone in the church for advice. I can go to my other friends outside of the church for advice. And if people in the church get upset about that, I honestly don't care, because these are my friends. These are my friends who I trust to get advice from. And yeah, the people in the church, some of the girls are my friends, but at the same time, I don't know you well. I've known you for like a year, maybe a little over a year, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go to you for everything. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I go to someone else. And that's the other thing, is this disciple buddy is a great person, but at the same time, like, yeah, like, I connected really well with her, but, like, she expected me to go to her for every single thing. But it's just like, listen, like, I have my own opinion, and, like, or I called someone else, like, okay, this is really getting into drama. I called someone else my best friend, and she's like, I thought I was your best friend. I thought I was your soul sister. And I was like, well, this other person, I've known them since, for 20 plus years. So to me, they're more of a best friend and soul sister than anyone I can meet. And I'm allowed to have more than one best friend. Like, I'm sorry, you are not my one and only best friend that I can have. You are not that person. You are one of many best friends. Maybe a good friend. But you're not the one sole best friend. No. Sorry. Ain't gonna happen. My best friend, who I've mentioned on this channel before, is someone who I've known since I was like 4. So, and I'm gonna be 30, so that's almost 26 years of friendship. Sorry, but that cancels out 26 years of friendship with a person who I trust more than anything in the world, other than my dad and my mom, but, well, obviously. So that 26 years of friendship cancels out the fact that you baptized me and you're my discipler. Like, I'm sorry, but it just does. That's how life works, and you can't always get what you want. So, sorry, that was like, and that's the other thing, is like, I feel like there's like so much little like high school drama that seems to be going around, like someone's mad so they don't talk, and that's the thing too, is like, I said my piece to this person, and this person still, and that was maybe March 27th that I had said this to this person, still have not emailed me, texted me, Marco Polo'd me, and it's been a good week or so. And part of me is like, you know what? I'm not calling back to you, because I said my piece, and if you have a problem with that, you can, like, I'm sorry, get the stick out of your you-know-what. Like, I'm over it. Because you are like mid-20s. You should not be acting like you are in high school. Because, like, the behavior that I'm seeing from a lot of the girls, it's like high school. They're cliquey, and I hate it. There's cliques going on, and it's like, why? Like, yeah, I get it. You're closer with that person. You're closer with this person. Whatever. But at the same time, like, I don't want to not be invited to something if someone else is, if, like, everyone else is. And it's like, all of a sudden I'm not. Like, okay. Like, it's like, sorry, not sorry that I don't invite you to things. Like, I have a birthday party coming up, and I invited a lot of the people that I want. Like, there's like a good amount from the church, but there's also a good amount outside of the church, because those are the people that I know that I want surrounding me for my birthday. I rarely invite other people, and I know when I get a house and I have a housewarming party, there's going to be very few people from the church at that, because I will have a housewarming party with a bunch of my friends. And if, like, the people And yeah, like I said, I want to stay friends with a lot of the people from the church. But if they don't want to, or they have all this stupid little drama going on, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm sorry. I'm going to be 30. I don't have time for your drama. I don't have time for your crap. You need to get over yourself and calm the heck down. And I actually got to start going to the gym. So I'll talk to y'all later. But no, anyways, got way off topic, but I'm getting really heated. Hopefully this will propel me into the gym and working out and being tough. But no, now I get to get ready for the gym and go have fun with like-minded people. Peace.